You know, since 13, 14 years old, I've heard that song, and I thought it was we who should overcome. But today, it is not we who need to overcome. It is you, and you know who you are. You need to overcome hate. You need to overcome the mindset of white supremacy. You know, there's only one supreme, as we all know in the world, and that is God. You shall overcome the need to dominate every single country and every people. You need to overcome gun violence, gang violence, cartel violence, government violence, and domestic violence. And then this nation needs to overcome whatever fear that keeps us protecting child traffickers. Children must be protected across party lines. Their innocent knows no politics. Please don't be distracted. Please don't be distracted from protecting the most vulnerable among us, our children. Reverend Jackson, you knew love could overcome hate. Just protect and honor the God you say you serve. It's not about the religion, it's about the relationship. And as hate known love secure, you can rest your mind assured that we hold the key to ending all hate, all poverty, all destruction, by believing not by just what we say, but by what we do, to make the world love again. Thank you.
Now look, funerals are emotional spaces. People are grieving for their loved ones. People are remembering history. People are reflecting on legacy. But what caught a lot of people's attention here wasn't just the tribute, it was the language being used. And immediately online, the reaction started pouring in. I seen a comment that said he's literally never seen white supremacy. I'm not giving up my spot in heaven for y'all, so I'm not going to laugh. But like I said, the reaction started pouring in because when moments like this happen, people begin asking whether the message is about unity or something else entirely, right? And that leads us to this next reaction. We're gonna take a flashback into Obama's speech, but I promise you I'm not just clip farming. This has a purpose.
In a time when it can be hard to hope, each day we wake up to some new assault on our democratic institutions. Another setback to the idea of the rule of law. An offense to common decency. Every day you wake up to things you just didn't think were possible. Each day we're told by those in high office to fear each other and to turn on each other, and that some Americans count more than others, and that some don't even count at all.
Now, this is where the conversation online really starts to heat up. Because according to multiple reports surrounding this service, Jesse Jackson's family had asked for something pretty simple that we covered in the last video on this one. Keep the focus on honoring the man, not politics. But here come Obama. Yeah, critics online say that's not exactly what happened. Offline too. Ding, ding. When you hear the speeches people are referencing, you begin to understand why this debate exploded the way it did. Y'all watch this.
Well, the Reverend made those remarks there during a break. He was being interviewed on the Fox News channel. Jackson says he didn't realize his microphone was still on. Today, he was in full damage control.
So Jesse Jackson said the quiet part out loud, and it was caught on the hot mic. Obama was just talking down to you motherfuckers. He don't give a shit about y'all. And now the truth is out there. This goofy fuck goes and tries to speak at Jesse Jackson's memorial looking like a plumb fool. We've seen this before. I don't know, when he was speaking at one of the highest Klan members' memorial. He just has a thing of talking at people's memorial. Mind you, these people don't like you because they see you for who you are. You ain't nothing but a step and fetching chameleon. And if you got the money, then he got the time. Barack Obama, you ain't.
Now is what gets pretty interesting, because this clip that people started sharing isn't even from the funeral. Obviously, it's from 2008. Yep. Oh man, I'll be trying to tell people when it's online, it's online forever. And people online began resurfacing it because they say it shows something about the complicated relationship between Jesse Jackson and Barack Obama that many people forgot. And when clips like this resurface, they change the way people look at current events, because suddenly the story isn't just about a funeral anymore. It's about history. And I know a lot of people seem to not care about actual history. And that's when reactions started getting even louder, y'all. I want y'all to watch this.
Imagine living a life of service and having a story so big and large. Imagine marching with Martin Luther King, being there when he passed away. Imagine marching hand in hand with John Lewis and Andrew Young. Imagine starting the Rainbow Coalition. Imagine being the first black man to run for president and actually having a chance to win, until, of course, you put your foot in your mouth. But nobody's perfect, right? We all make mistakes. Even I put my foot in my mouth sometimes. Imagine having a life that big, that given one of the greatest speeches that still inspired me to this day. As a young man, I remember hearing your speech, I Am Somebody. A speech that made the common man who felt marginalized feel like they were a part of this country, that they could stand up on their own 2 feet. Imagine giving one of the greatest phrases in American history. 50, 60, 70 years of a life of service, and at your funeral service, it gets turned into a F Trump rally. Now listen, I don't know if that's what the family or Jesse Jackson wanted. If that's the case, hey, I have to respect it. That's their wishes. But if it wasn't, what Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris did was one of the most disrespectful things I'd ever seen. You completely erased everything that man did to air your grievances, your political grievances about the big bad orange man, right? That was one of the most gross, disgusting things I've ever seen. And if the family didn't want that, I believe those 3 individuals owe the Jesse Jackson family an apology. I want to live for another 25 years, but if I die, please do not politicize my funeral. And my life is nowhere near what Jesse Jackson's was, but all I've tried to do in my life is do some good. All I want you to do is talk about Jesus, how he worked through me, my spirit, and letting that inspire you to do good as well. Outside of that, I don't want to hear about Barack Obama at my funeral. I don't want to hear about, well, I can't hear anyway, I'm dead, but I don't want to hear about Trump. I don't want to hear about Obama or whoever's running the world at the time. Leave your damn politics. That is a time of remembrance, and his life was so big, his story was so big, and it should not have been overshadowed by Donald Trump. To the Jesse Jackson family, I am sorry for your loss. To Jesse Jackson, may you rest in peace. I want to say thank you for inspiring me when I was a young man. I'm dead serious. I am somebody with something that really stuck with me as a young man. You inspired me as a young man in high school and as a young adult. I didn't agree with everything about you, but at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. But I thank you for stepping out and standing up for people of color. I really do. You're an inspiration. May you rest in peace.
Now, this is the argument you're seeing all over the internet right now. Some people believe the speeches reflected the kind of activism Jesse Jackson stood for his entire life. Others say the moment should have stayed completely focused on honoring him without any modern political messaging. And I just happen to be on that side of things too. And when the debate looks like that, it spreads pretty fast. But something else resurfaced that added a completely different layer to this conversation, Says people forget that Jesse Jackson's son went to prison after being prosecuted by the Obama administration after the Jackson family helped Obama get elected. And then Dr. Boyce Watkins added, there's a long history here, and his son's statement on the podium was saying quite a lot. And this is what a lot of people are coming back to, because Jesse Jackson Jr. reportedly asked, well, now we know. He asked the speakers to keep politics out of the memorial and focus on celebrating his father's life. So when, critics online say the moment became political anyway, this is the context that they're pointing to. Now, whether you agree or disagree with that interpretation, one thing is undeniable. The internet noticed. And of course, the reactions, they did not stop there.
They say Trump was the most divisive president we've ever seen, but I really believe it was Obama. Trump is not divisive. The media has painted him as divisive because he was on a mission to destroy the corruption, the deep state.
And so many people throughout the league overjoyed.
And so he brought division. He brought division from the corrupt. He exposed the Democrats for who they really were. He broke them. He exposed the deep state for who they were. He exposed so many people, the fake news, all that was exposed under Trump. But really, if we go back, the real divider was Obama. He was the first president to really focus on race in his presidency when it comes to attacking the police, when the Trayvon Martin situation happened, and different racial shootings that he felt like were racial shootings happened. He was the first person to start attacking law enforcement and demonizing the country and talking about racism after the majority of the country voted him in as the first black president. So apparently the nation had healed and had came such a long way that mostly white people decided to elect a black man to be president. We saw at Jesse Jackson's funeral that Obama showed that he really is the divider in chief, that he is was the most divisive president in U.S. history. He continues to divide. I like Bill Clinton, honestly, a lot more than I like Obama. Bill Clinton, as a president, usually when you leave your presidency, you go off, you do what his wife is doing, and you have a podcast, you go off and write books and tour. But Obama still wants to be the kingpin of the Democratic Party, still continuing to, and really the reality is he ran a pretty moderate campaign. Really, President Obama, except the second term, was a pretty moderate Democrat. Right? He ran on strong immigration. He ran on securing the border. He ran on some of the things that Republicans run on now. But now he has shifted so far to the left because his party has shifted and he wants to stay relevant. So it's just sad that he has divided our country. He's way more divisive. And to use Jesse Jackson's funeral to further divide the country, to attack Republicans, to attack conservatives, Obama, I thought he was better than that.
Amen to that. This right here is the kind of reaction that shows just how divided the response has been. Some people believe these speeches were completely appropriate for honoring a lifelong civil rights leader. Others believe a funeral should never become a place for modern political debate. But that's what's fascinating is how fast the entire moment spread across social media, because once the clip started circulating, the conversation just exploded. the end of the day, Jesse Jackson was one of the most influential civil rights figures in American history. Doesn't mean that you have to agree with every stance he's taken in his life, but his legacy spans decades, from marching with Dr. Martin Luther King to building national political movements. And moments like this remind us how complicated history can be, because even in a moment meant to honor someone's life, people still see the moment through completely different lenses. Some see tribute, some see politics, some see both. But one thing's for certain, the reaction online shows that people are paying attention. And in the age of the internet, every moment like this becomes part of a much bigger conversation. So if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to write one word: legacy. So I know that you stayed all the way through. Other than that, y'all be safe. Go check with somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.